Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back today with another cryptocurrency video. I'm going to be going over what I think will happen with Bitcoin after the SegWit2x hard fork. That's going to be around November 16th, and like many other people, right, I am anticipating a pretty massive drop. Now, I understand that right now, right, if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, actually let me go to TradingView. It's really hard to kind of, anticipate this drop happening because there's so much enthusiasm, optimism around Bitcoin right now. It seems like it's not going to stop, right? But the fact of the matter is that, things do fall back down, and there are pullbacks. It's just part of the game, right? And it's actually healthy for cryptocurrencies to have pullbacks and stuff like that. Of course, Bitcoin has had a massive run up and is a bit overextended. And I think in these types of situations, you just have to go back to the fundamentals and what's logical. And right now, the general consensus is that, after the hard fork happens, everyone obviously is putting their money towards Bitcoin right now. But after the hard fork happens, people will start, for one, seeing all the altcoins bounce, and that'll make them want to, even more pull out their money and profit off that. In the meantime, Bitcoin will probably be falling at least a little bit as well, and then we have the whole, typical panic that comes in, which really will drag the price down much, much lower. And I'll get to where I think it'll actually end up specifically. But that's going to be the general consensus, right? That Bitcoin takes a hit and that the altcoins bounce instead. I will be making a video on, the best altcoins post-fork. So keep an eye out for that. That should be coming out at the same time as this one. So look in the comment section below. I'll leave a link. But that's the general consensus. And coming into the chart here to sort of explain what's going on, the first thing that I wanted to say is just take a look at what happened at the previous run-up that Bitcoin had, right? And that's really one of the best ways to look at it. As you can see, it's a very similar run-up actually as far as trend lines go and everything. So I'm talking about this run-up right here, right? And this is the run-up that we're currently experiencing. So very similar in shape even. But look at what happened, when it started pulling back and panic set in. It came all the way back down to the high of the previous run-up, okay? And basically, that's what I think is going to happen here. Now, history repeats itself in markets, and what's funny with cryptocurrencies, as much as people say that, they're very unpredictable and stuff like that, funnily enough, I think that they are actually, in a certain way, a bit more predictable than the stock market because the moves are pretty logical and are pretty drastic usually. So people generally have the same mindset around, these type of things, and it kind of pans out as expected. Now, of course, there are always uncertainties. You can never be sure, but, like I said, based on what happened previously, it's looking very similar. And it pulled back all the way back down to its previous high, which was the $3,000 breakout. So for this run up over here, the level that I expect Bitcoin to go down to and bounce off of is going to be this high of, these two candlesticks over here, which is going to be about, 4,979 to 4,935, right? So somewhere around here, the top of these two candlesticks. And that's the previous level that we broke out of, right? That was the $5,000 breakout. And we haven't really had a pullback there. We had almost did it, but we didn't actually go back there. And usually that's just a level that when there's these type of big pullbacks, it usually comes back and always tests it at least once, right? So that's just the most logical level that we'll come back to. And it's also a level of, major support, right? So we'll probably see a very strong bounce off that. Now, I will go over, what's going on with the trend lines and the indicators, because that's pretty important as well. And, let's just take a look at the RSI. As of right now, right, we're a couple days ahead of the fork, like I said. We're November 7th as of this recording. The fork is November 16th. We're currently in the overbought area. So, just take a look at what happened, at the previous run-ups, right? We were also overbought, dipped back way below, actually to the oversold condition. And, I think it's now time that we have one of these dips again, right? It just makes sense. It's very, even as far as the distance goes, it makes sense. So it's just a normal pattern here for Bitcoin, and a healthy one. Once again, we had our little two overbought, signals, and then we dipped back below here for that previous run up. And same thing here, we have our two overboughts and probably, the dip back below to the oversold level. So the MACD is also, kind of just mentioning how it is overbought. We already see the histogram pulling back down now. So that will probably take a hit. It's been uptrending for so long now. And as far as the price action goes, and the levels to watch, there are a couple uptrend lines. So the main uptrend line is going to be this one right here, right? This bottom one all the way over here. That's going to be the major support level for Bitcoin. And it's pretty much in line with this, with the high over here. So that'll make sense, right? And there are two other uptrend lines that I drew just to, kind of mention where you might see some maybe shorter term bounces and stuff like that. Or if by any chance the bounce is, the drop is less severe than expected, and, there's not that much of a massive pullback that happens, it could bounce maybe off, this support line right over here, right? We also have the middle band, the brown line, currently at 6,414. That's going to act definitely at least a little bit of support. But then we're going to have this uptrend line over here. We have another one over here. But these are going to be, much less big support levels, right? These are going to be smaller support levels than this big one right here. And most likely, we may see a little bit of a bounce here, but we'll probably break through those pretty easily. And, like we saw over here, this was a pretty quick drop back down to, the previous support level. So that's kind of what I expect to conclude this video, pretty sharp drop all the way back down to over here, where we're going to bounce off the uptrend line, and we might dip a little bit below it just to make sure we hit that 4,900 area, and then bounce back up as we did here. Like I said, very similar pattern on as far as the price action goes in these two run-ups, as far as the indicators go. So based on the most logical conclusion, that's what I expect to see. Of course, like I said, there's always uncertainties. We can never be sure. But I've gotten quite a bit of requests, to give you my thoughts on what's going to happen, and I think that's probably the most likely case scenario. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more cryptocurrency content. But with that being said, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.